Crashed his $200,000 McLaren while on live stream. Jack Doherty was seen looking at his phone before hydroplaning into a local highway guardrail. Take a look.
Yeah, so basically we were all in handcuffs. You know, there's a lot of people out to get us in this world. You know, it's a very, very messed up world we're in. So.
Security, we're going back. Dog.
Now we can't box. There's a whole.
Oh! I slapped the dog out of you.
The beloved video live streaming service known as Kick was found October 18, 2022, co-founded by Bihan Tarani, Ed Craven, and streaming personality Trainwrecks TV. Before I go on any further, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Hey, I'm trying to get to 10K by the end of the year. Let's get it. Kick was founded in 2022 as a competitor to Amazon on Twitch with a focus on looser moderation and higher revenue shares for the streamers. Kick is mostly known for his low 5% revenue charge, as well as his 2023 deals with multiple streamers like Vitaly TV, Aiden Ross, Ice Poseidon, Jack Doherty, SQC, and much more. At first, Kick wasn't profitable. However, in an interview, Craven said that they were working on some advertisements and some deals and all that to make it way more profitable throughout the years. Now, what made Kick kind of stand out from Twitch is that they were way more relaxed on their rules and their laws when it came to their site. Laws like copyright infringement, HB, gambling contact, harassment, and sexual conduct. And that was very much shown by Aiden Ross when he showed literally the hub on one of his streams on Kick. Now, however, they do not tolerate none of the guidelines like doxing and violent conduct, because they got some laws. This is not just you can't do anything. Like, obviously those gonna be some of the rules they got. Now, Kick's relaxed rules became a big problem for their site. There was content creators that was doing crimes such as sexual assault and trespassing, and other creators was doing like having sex while streaming and showed sex stories during their streams and made sexual remarks towards people. It was getting crazy. It was getting out of hand. So Kick started handing out bans left and right. Now, that was kind of a big problem with Kick, because they became labeled as that site where you go to find content creators becoming degenerate and doing all types of illegal stuff and way more unprofessional than Twitch was. And that was a big problem because Kick didn't want to be labeled as that. All they wanted was a little more relaxed rules and a little more fairness towards the creators coming their way. Kick CEO Ed Craven stated in an interview that people are realizing that the more controversial they are, the more shock factor involved in their content, the more views they get. And he's honestly right. Twitch streamers, they do the same thing. They try to inflict a lot of shock value in their content and more controversial stuff, but it wasn't as bad as it was on Kick. People went farther on Kick just to get views, which he stated in his interview. He went on to also say Kick was in the process of adapting and deciding what type of content should be acceptable, which he was a little late on, because I'm not even gonna lie, like racism and sex toys and all that, they should have been figured out that ain't acceptable, but they process is they process. If they want to go slow, they can go slow. If they want to go fast, they can go fast. But I mean, come on now, common sense here. In 2023, Kick, had one of the biggest controversies ever when two content creators named Ice Poseidon and Sam Pepper were detained by Australian police after an incident involving a man they met earlier that day after they had tried to attempt to film him and a sex worker. They both, obviously consented, but Sam Pepper and Ice Poseidon, tried to record them in a hotel room and, record them doing, getting dirty, It was, it's obviously not cool, but it was all going, how they wanted to go, but until the man, tried to stop the sex worker from leaving, which was, becoming a problem. After the incident, some streamers, you know, considered leaving the platform, which I get, because they don't want to be, you know, tied to that controversy and tied to that brand known as, you know, degenerate streamers. A whole bunch of degenerate streamers doing degenerate stuff on that, you know, on that streaming platform. So some streamers consider leaving, and some actually did leaving because they didn't want to be tied to that bad reputation that Kick was, you know, gaining. After the incident, Kick updated their guidelines. They added a report button for rule-breaking content and introduced some regulations on staff participation in high-risk live streams. Gambling content. You know, gambling content, even though it's been, you know, illegal throughout the years, it became legal. You know, a lot of states and, you know, a lot of people in the U.S. been allowed to, you know, start gambling. It still remains a big problem in terms of being persuaded on kids. That's where the real problem really is when those big time, you know, influencers, celebrities, and all of them, when they, you know, persuade gambling on kids. Even Mr. Beast, like a lot of his ads and on a lot of his YouTube channel are like, it's like DraftKings and FanDuel and all that, and majority of his fan base is little kids, and you can't tell me I'm capping on that because I'm 100% right. And he's doing exactly what, you know, a lot of people say that the problem is persuading gambling on kids. And speaking of that, it's actually been, you know, documented that the creators of Kick, Behind Tyranny and Ed Craven, they're also founders of an online casino website, stake.com, and they have also been accused of promoting gambling content to his audience, including underage people. And gambling is a big problem when it comes to a lot of streamers. Like, gambling dead ass took over Kick, if we keep it in the book. Gambling has been, you know, streamed by popular Kick streamers like Aiden Ross, Zach Dory, and Neon and Fuzi, a whole bunch of big time, you know, influencers, including small time influencers. It's taken over Kick. It's actually taken over by the world. But if we talking about Kick, it's definitely took over Kick. It's, you know, like, I see more gambling on Kick than like actual like content. So it's definitely crazy. Gambling contests became so crazy, and gambling influencers has been so crazy that even though, like, you know, gambling is still illegal in some states, some Americans moved out of did as much as leave out of America, like move out of America to a country, or to a country or a place that, you know, that's gambling's legal in, and actually like stream gambling. Like, they moved to a whole different country, a whole new place just to gamble. If that ain't a problem, I don't know what to tell you. I ain't gonna lie. But in, you know, 2023, Ed Craven stated that, you know, the website intends, you know, the Kick website intends to, you know, decrease the exposure of gambling content, especially to underage people, because, you know, that's wrong. Now, as crazy as all that sound, like degenerate streamers and you know, gambling and, you know, craziness, Kick, my bad, I keep saying Twitch. Kick was still paying people. They paid SQC they gave SQC $70 million deal that could value up to $100 million deal. You know, he passed Ninja's $50 million exclusive deal with the Microsoft owned Mixer, which is crazy because Ninja, he's been one of the biggest streamers since like 2019, 2020, you know, playing Fortnite and all that. But I don't know nobody watching Ninja anymore. I'm gonna keep it above. But that ain't the point. The point is they were still paying a tremendous amount of money, even though they was taking little of their revenue and giving them big, large amounts of deals. They were paying, which was keeping the, you know, degenerate streamers to keep coming onto their platform. The degenerate streamers, you know, the streamers that would do anything for views, even if it was like illegal, you know, those type of streamers, like, when they heard like, you know, XQC getting that type of money, they were doing anything to get views on their channel so they can get deals from Kip, just like XQC, which was a big problem because that became a big problem for like Fousey. Like Fousey is one of the worst streamers on Kick. He does anything for views. He's a spoiled he's a spoiled brat, and he's like 30, almost 40, you know, like that's a perfect example. Like Jack Dory, like that's a perfect example. Those streamers doing anything for views, anything, even if it's not in the, you know, their little laws or whatever, you know, they still getting paid. That's why the degenerate streamers kept coming onto the platform, ruining it for everybody. But since we're talking so much about degenerate streamers, let's get on to that topic. Now, it's a lot, you know, it's a lot, because there's a lot of degenerate streamers like Ice Poseidon, Sam Pepper. Like those are like, you know, a few, just a few. There's more. Fousey, Vitaly, Jack Dory, Neon. Like it's a whole bunch of people doing whatever it is to get views, which was making the streaming service look bad. Kick originally was not, you know, trying to, obviously they were trying to, you know, battle Twitch, you know, to be the top streaming service so that people come on the stream, but they wasn't trying to do it this way. They didn't want to have Vitaly going around harassing people in public. They didn't want that on their platform. That wasn't their goal. Their goal was to be a little more lenient and, you know, make sure a lot of these streamers relax when they stream. They don't gotta worry about being banned for no reason. Like literally, Gideon went on his Twitch stream and said that Pokimane has a boyfriend and he got banned for life. Like that's what I'm talking about. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Like when it comes to Twitch is, you know, Twitch is very political. They, you know, especially towards the female streamers, like Gideon, you know, he got banned for life for saying that Pokimane got a boyfriend or something like that. And then there was actually another girl on Twitch that got balled on stream that was, you know, having relations on stream, and she got banned for like a week. It came back like nothing happened. That's what Kick was trying to, you know, they're trying to be fair. You know, they ain't trying to, you know, be political like that. They just want more fairness towards, you know, the streamers. Take less of their money, you know, do what you want. And I really agree with the taking less of the money, because like even YouTube, or like even YouTube, like we talking about YouTube, like even they take way too much money. Like they're just a platform. Like if we keep it a buck, at the end of the day, they're just a platform. People would not come on to YouTube at all and watch it if it wasn't for us. Honestly, if it wasn't for the people coming on making videos. There's just a platform at the end of the day. People, you know, go viral and get big off many other websites. You know, YouTube just, you know, there's just a platform at the end of the day. The video, the content creators are really the ones that made the platform. If we're keeping a buck. Now, Kick was originally not, you know, they wasn't trying to, you know, have people make the type of content that they make, like Jack Dory and the Island Boys, you know, crashing out every stream, Fousey slapping Neon around for no reason, like Neon freaking going around trying to talk about how he's gonna harass Trump at a UFC event, stuff like that. Now, that was not the goal, to have people, you know, do that, but it ended up happening. Like people started taking advantage real quick of Kick's, you know, lenient policies, which became a big problem, which is why you see a lot of crash outs, a lot of edgy content on that platform. There's so many Kicks, and I say this all the time. If you really watch my videos, I say this all the time. If you really keep it a buck, I would not be surprised if Kick gets banned in the next couple of years. It's way too many streamers, way too many content creators going around harassing people for no reason, for content, for likes, and that is honestly so lame to me. Not even just me, but it's really lame to a lot of people in America. And don't nobody want to go about their day and then just get harassed by a quick Kick streamer talking about you know, getting in their face, doing all type of goofy stuff. No, you don't want to go to the mall looking, you know, to buy a new pair of pants. You see a K streamer behind you harassing you, trying to throw stuff, trying to, you know, try to get you to crash out, try to get you mad, because that's their goal at the end of the day, trying to get you mad and crash out for views. They trying to get you mad, to get you crash out and get you to attack them, while they get their security or somebody or them and they homies to jump you for views. They'll try to get their homies, get their security just to attack you, to sue you at the end of the day. All because you tried to buy a pair of pants. It's crazy. All of that is for views, bro. And I would not be surprised if Kick gets banned, like, from the US, like, you know, in the next couple of years. It's way too much stuff happening, way too much unnecessary stuff happening. And I'm actually surprised, like, it's still like really going on. I'm surprised Kick ain't really changed their policies up and get way more stricter with their streaming service. But, you know, in due time, I hope, you know, Kick, you know, gets right. I hope, you know, they end up not, you know, I hope they really lock in on, you know, getting a lot of them degenerate, unnecessary streamers out off their platform, because it's, at the end of the day, it's making them look bad. And I see from day one that their intent was not to, you know, get those type of streamers on their platform. It was just to give streamers more flexibility and more money in their pockets. So, you know, in due time, you know, I'm pretty sure, I hope it gets right. But if not, it's that the app will be gone. And I would not be surprised too. I'm gonna look at each and every person I said that to and tell them I told them so. But if you like this video, comment. If you want a part 2, want me to go deeper into a lot of the streamers, you know, certain streamers, you know, leave a comment on what streamers you want me to talk about next. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'm gonna see you out. Let's get it. Watch my other videos, bro.